Welcome to the Ministry of Creativity for the Love of Ghost podcast series. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Ministry of Creativity with me, Geraldine.
And me, Natalie.
And we're very excited for today's guest. Now, today's guest, his link for Ghost is because he's my singing coach, along with many other amazing qualities. So if you could introduce yourself, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely, yes. Well, thank you, ladies, for having me. My name is J.R. Richards. I was the lead singer for a big American band back in the 90s and early 2000s called Dishwalla. I was the lead singer and songwriter, and I have since continued to be a independent artist. So I just released my 10th album last year.
Yes, My Darkest Hour. I've been listening to it. It's beautiful.
Oh, fantastic.
And I was very lucky because I'm part of your Patreon to have had clips and bits of it as it was going along.
Oh, yes, yes. I was trying to kind of, take a record as I, because it's quite a process. It was 4.5 years it took me to write and record
Wow.
it. Yeah, long time. And it was during through COVID and all of that craziness. And yeah, it was it was a lot of ups and downs.
Oh, that's amazing. So, oh gosh. So if we go right back to Dishwalla, how did that all come about? Like, what? How did the group come about? How did it come up with its name?
Yes, well, gosh, we started in the early 90s together. And this is before uh, streaming or even MP3s, right? I mean, this is still back in the day when if you wanted to listen to something, you had to buy a CD or a cassette or an LP vinyl, or listen to the radio, right? I mean, terrestrial radio. So yeah, it was a different time, big time because of that. Because back in the day, this is an interesting thing for any of you artists out there that want to get a record deal or become famous or whatever, or get your music out there. Um, Back in the 90s, if you wanted to get your music released worldwide and be able to share it, you had to sign with a major label because the distribution then was only physical. So if you, for example, I grew up in California in the US. If I wanted to get an album available to somebody in Germany, I needed to be on a shelf in a music store, in a music shop in Germany, which was
Mm.
impossible unless you had, a
Hmm.
big label with their big distribution network, because the amount of shelf space physically is limited, right? So they only put, what they think they can sell. Nowadays, anybody can can release a song and have it distributed to 180 countries in a day, and it's
Hmm.
available everywhere, which is extraordinarily cool. um, and so things have changed dramatically. On the other end of it is now everybody is doing that, so
Yes.
there's a lot of artists out there that are releasing music. So sometimes it's hard to be able to find the ones that really connect with you because there's so
Yes.
much going on. But there is as much incredible music going on today as there was back in the day when I started.
Wow.
Mhm.
So how did the name Dishwalla come about, though? That's
Uh, well, we were originally called Dish, just Dish.
okay.
Horrible name. That just sounds so ridiculous. Anyway, but we were starting to do quite well. We're from Santa Barbara, California, which is just north of Los Angeles. So we started, big university town, and we had a huge following. We'd go and play, and we're not signed or anything. We'd go and play, and there'd be 1,000 people would show up. So we started to take that audience down to Los Angeles and started to build a big following down there. And so much so, we started to be noticed around the U.S. Turns out there was a band that already had the name Dish that just got signed, and so their lawyers sent us a cease and desist letter, said you can't use this name anymore. So we were horrified because we're like, oh my gosh, we've built all of this following, and people are going to be looking for Dishwalla, and what are we going to do now? Or Dish, excuse me, and what are we going to do now? And anyway, sitting on the table in our rehearsal space was a magazine. Um, I don't know, it's going to leave me now all of a sudden. Uh, ba, 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 ba. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This kind of really cool kind of alternative magazine thing that was in there, and they had a big article on people in India who at the time were pirating satellite TV because they only had one or two state-run
Mhm.
channels. And so anybody in anywhere was just paying, they had pictures of these, homes that are ramshackle with no windows and dirt on the floors, but they've got this ridiculously fuck off, entertainment system, right? And and so
Priorities.
Yeah,
right,
yeah. Important things.
so which was amazing. So I was like, okay, cool. Anyway, and so the guys who were hired, the guys and gals who were hired to come and install these things, they were called dishwallas. So
Okay, that's
That's
amazing.
really
yeah,
cool. I
yeah. So
love that.
that's where we took
That's
the name. So
there you
we figured
go.
no one's gonna have that name,
No,
so we'd have a very small chance of somebody giving us a cease and
it
desist.
exists on Dishwalla. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love actually such an epic way to get the name,
Yes.
and it is better than Dish. And
Yes.
I agreed. It took me a while to get my head around it, but yeah. It right around that time, it was cool to have a one syllable band name.
yes, yeah,
And every band around me, it's that Blur, it's that kind
yeah,
of
the
Yeah.
Oasis.
done.
Yeah.
So, we were obviously kind of sucked into that whole thing, but it's a funny thing too is most of us listened to British bands, but we were American, and for love or money, we could not break in the UK. Nobody wanted to. We were around when it was, Oasis and Blur were really
Bit.
blowing up, and so they didn't want to listen to Americana thing at all, and so we just really struggled here, but did really well around the world elsewhere. So it's
Ah.
funny that I live here now, and I don't get the benefit. Nobody knows who I am, so which is actually kind of cool. But yeah, it's an interesting
Yeah,
thing.
I'm afraid I did know you.
And I did as well. I mean, the weird thing you saying that you didn't break huge in the UK. There was, especially with the group of kids that I was hanging out with, because I am of an age where I was around when Dishwalla were coming up.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so I remember there was two very distinct groups of kids. There were the kids that listened to Britpop, and then there was us weirdos who listened to stuff like yourself and the Goo Goo Dolls and the Cranberries
right.
and all of that. So yeah, I was very aware of who you were.
Oh, that's cool. And those are bands that we toured with, right? So quite a bit. So which is interesting. But I mean, and we would sneak in through other ways. Like there would be TV shows or movies that we would have a song in and a soundtrack, and so that would, in countries that we never tried to really break into or even toured really, that all of a sudden people knew who we were because
And
Mhm.
you were on one of the
Yeah.
biggest TV shows of the time. There
Um,
was Buffy, and then there was Charmed,
oh yeah,
and
I mean,
yes.
obviously, when there's Charmed fans here, my daughter's named after Alyssa Milano, so
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yes, and Alyssa's lovely too. She's a sweetie. And not only did we get a chance to have music on the show, but we actually got a chance to be on the show
yeah,
and be on an episode called "The Devil's Music."
I love that. That's such
I
a
love
good
that.
one. The Devil's Music.
And integral to the plot as well, which is really. And you were the Dishwalla were the very first musical guest on Charmed as well. Sorry, I am a big
Yes.
Charmed nerd, so I'm like, ah.
Yes. Yes,
Oh
which
yeah,
I have since become one. So, but because we're part of the Charmed universe, right? How crazy is
yes.
that?
So
So,
Forever.
yeah, we're
so cool.
so P3, the Piper's, venue that she had
Hmm.
in San Francisco. Yeah, we were the first band, the big, major band to play at her venue,
That's so
P3.
cool.
So,
That's so cool.
yeah, how cool is that? And
How did
and it
they
was
approach you? How did it come about? Like,
well, it was they had asked a few bands of our ilk, and I know one wasn't even available. They were on tour, and we just happened to be there and just said, "Hey, well, we can do it," because they film it all in North Hollywood in Burbank, and so we happened to be home at that time, and so it's an hour drive, and we were on set, so.
so cool.
I mean, it really did kind of come down to economics because didn't have to fly there or anything, and
Yep.
so it was cheap for them to have us, and we were on their list, so bonus. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
totally. It was cool, and I did get probably the worst food poisoning I've ever gotten in my life from their craft services, though.
I was going to say,
Oh
did you eat a
no!
catering? Oh
Oh
no.
Yeah,
no!
well, what's weird is they had the catering was outside of the sound stage. I mean, they have this massive sound stage where they've built all of the different sets. So, because they do some filming in San Francisco, but most of it's done in North Hollywood, and for mostly
Mm,
if they have to do something external.
Mm.
But they even have places around LA that could be San Francisco. So, um,
yeah.
but so the inside of their house, the inside of P3, um, they even built a whole alternative venue because if you watch the episode, we're playing at another
Oh yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
And that's actually so they had to build and bring in a whole audience and everything. So they had stuck craft services outside in order to make room for all of this going on
Oh
inside. But it
no.
happened to be it was about 40 degrees that day. So it was ridiculously
Oh.
hot and yeah, so I had a bad banana or something that was sitting out in the heat and I was absolutely just devastated for like 4 or 5 days.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was
Well,
brutal.
forget
Sorry.
you don't want that part of the experience. Forget that bit.
Yeah,
No.
no. I think they may have cursed a banana. No,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
was all good. Interestingly enough, that particular day, because uh, so how can I forget her name? Um,
Shannon.
thank you. Yeah, so Shannon Doherty. It was right at the end of that season where she was going to be leaving, and then they brought in Rose McGowan,
Mm.
right? So
Hmm, hmm.
to replace her. So it was a really odd day because you're on set and Alyssa Milano and I forget her name. The actress plays Piper. They
Holly. Holly
Holly.
Holly.
Marie Combs.
Yeah,
I
thank
can
you.
remember the Marie bit.
I know I'm
Told you
so
I was
bad
a
with names. It's
nerd.
ridiculous. I forget my own. They're having a great jovial time between takes and doing their thing and having laughing with the crew and such and us and very jovial. But then Shannon was between every take, she'd go off and huddle over with her boyfriend, just sobbing.
Oh,
Oh,
bless her heart.
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, just to finish that whole thing, obviously it was a tough day. So, and I didn't fully appreciate what was going on. I was
Yeah.
just sitting, and she was really sweet to us, and we've got a great photo of us all
Yes.
together in the band that we took at the end of the day, and they were
That's
all
so.
lovely in their own right, but there
That's
was definitely obviously
mm,
an
Tension
issue
and
going, yeah,
yeah.
big tension on the set, which was kind of a bummer.
yeah.
Did you get told which songs they wanted you to play, or did you kind of go in and go, well, this is the one we're known for, and this is going to be our new single. This is what we want to do?
Yes. So I think they came to us and said, "Hey, we would like to use was it 3 or 4 songs. We're doing this because we're playing live on the thing. So I think there were 2 live songs that we played,
Yeah.
and then we had a big hit, Counting Blue Cars, which they used at the very beginning,
Hmm, hmm.
and it was
Mm.
played on the radio, kind of with a radio DJ talking about Dishwalla being in the area, but. Um, So they said we would definitely want to use Counting Blue Cars, obviously, because that people are going to recognize that one, and then pick 2, and
Oh,
we'll
that's
tell you
cool.
if it's okay. And so my favorite song, my best song I've ever written, is actually on that episode, which is cool at the very end. The song called "Until I Wake Up," which I think is like the coolest song I've ever written. So that was cool, and they're all huddled in front of us because we've now we've gotten rid of the demon, cast
Good,
him
good.
away. So
Yeah,
we've
it's gone.
so sorted that, and so it's big love fest at the end, and then we're playing this song, which is just this very kind of dreamy, melancholic um, song at the end with a big powerful chorus and stuff. So it was cool. It was cool.
That's such a cool experience.
Oh,
Oh, I know, it's like that, isn't it? Oh,
someone else I can tick off my charmed list. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it was what a cool experience. So grateful that that worked out because doesn't always. I mean, there's always
no,
been a lot of great opportunities that come your way, but sometimes they just don't pan out for one
no,
reason or another.
logistics. The joys of logistics. And talking of logistics, I mean, how do you balance it with family and kids? Because you got 4 boys, isn't it?
Four boys, yeah. One of them's highly special needs too. So, my wife is an artist also. She's a brilliant sculptor. So, we're both artists in our family. So
Shout
that's
out to Min. Hi,
yeah. So yeah,
Min.
absolutely. And yes, Min is awesome. And so yeah, it's we're not the typical family, I guess, whatever that means. I don't even
Yeah, who knows these days?
know.
What does a typical family look like anymore? It's there's no such thing as the white picket fence 2.4
No.
children. So, you know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you're absolutely right about that. No, I don't think I know anyone that has any kind of typical family.
no.
It's our, which I guess is typical. So
Yeah.
turns
I
out.
mean, how many typical families have gold records on the wall behind them? It's few and far between, methinks.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, indeed. I know. Well, yeah, sounds pretty cool. It's funny because they're vinyl. So a lot of my kids early on were kind of like, what are those things?
What are those things?
Oh,
Whereas my daughter is now collecting vinyl.
I love
Alyssa is
vinyl.
now into vinyl, and actually one of the questions I got Keith was going to me is he can't find Opaline on vinyl anywhere.
I know. It's sadly, I was talking to, so that was the third label we were on. We did Opaline. The owner of that label, which is no longer in existence because it was an indie label, um, he passed away, and
Oh,
he and I actually were supposed to. He's British, the owner, and he went in for just like a routine operation and had some just crazy
oh
complication and
no.
passed. But
Oh
he and I were talking about putting Opaline out on vinyl, among other things,
no. Hmm.
just because they're, it would be cool, number
Yep,
one,
it
and I
would.
know he would be able to sell a bunch because there's this wonderful resurgence of having, vinyl.
I don't know what you mean, vinyls.
Right. Right, and it's so cool now that so many bands are doing it, young bands,
Yeah,
and I love that, and it does sound better.
yeah, we do like. Yeah, Alyssa's very much. She's bought Fleetwood Mac. What else did she get? The Smiths and
Jeff Buckley.
Jeff Buckley. Hallelujah, which JR's heard me sing an awful lot.
Yes, yes, great song that is, and great version that Jeff Buckley did as well
Oh, it's
too.
beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, just stunning.
There is something so warm about vinyl, and it's for me it's the whole process of it. It's taking it out of the sleeve and putting it on the turntable and then moving the needle arm, and there's just vinyl is cozy.
Yeah,
It
and the
is.
variations.
It is. I mean, because it's there's a whole process to it. There's a whole, it's not just pressing play, or swiping and then going. It's like you said, it's so tactile because you're taking
Hmm.
something out and putting it down and playing it, and then you have to flip it
Yeah,
too.
Yep,
You have to be engaged with it. You don't
you
just let
do.
it go on its own thing and forget about it. And it's more of an intention of actually, I'm going to listen to this record.
Yes, that's what I was just
You know.
thinking. Like, if you put a record on, you're gonna listen. Whereas I sometimes, if I chuck music on my phone, it's
Mhm.
it's just there in the background. I'm not
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
Whereas I think, like you said, Nat, it's a cozy thing. You are sitting down to listen. Alyssa comes down here. The
yeah.
record player's down here now, and she comes and sits and puts her records on while she's whatever
That's
she's
awesome.
doing, studying or whatever.
Yeah,
We
that is
keep
so
finding
good.
the little like boutique record shops. Oh, so cool, so good.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I put out one album in vinyl and this newest one too. It's I think it was actually just delivered in California. I have to go pick it up next month, but that's being done
oh,
in vinyl as well. Double vinyl, which is even cool.
oh.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I
So,
love vinyl.
I
There's
love
a ritual to vinyl for me.
mm, absolutely. And it really does sound better. I know that the first album
yes.
that I had done, I sat here with my wife Min listening through the speakers here in my studio, that I recorded the album on. And so you can listen to the actual master at its
Hmm.
highest
Hmm.
resolution through the speakers, and then flip over and listen to what it sounds like through the same speakers on vinyl. And it was without, there's no question that it was like,
Ooh.
ooh, okay. What that's something magical happening there. There's
Hmm.
definitely something within the way that vinyl makes and creates sound that makes our brains, a little happier.
Hmm.
You know,
Definitely.
it's extraordinary.
Definitely.
Definitely.
And then bands get you with their variations on colors and God knows what else.
Oh, I know. Exactly, right?
The weirdest one I have has liquid in it. So
No way. Oh, how
yeah, liquid.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. So liquid. It's the bizarrest thing. I'm not sure the quality of that one is quite as good because obviously the whole liquid thing. But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. God, that's wild. I'm gonna have
Oh,
to look
so
at that. It's extraordinary what they're doing with it. And there's also a huge waiting list. So if you're an independent artist like me, it takes forever to get vinyl done because there's a huge queue of all the major label or more famous people that
wow.
are jumping the queue and getting theirs done first because so many of the machines that cut vinyl were were thrown away.
Hmm.
Destroyed.
Yeah, destroyed. People stopped doing it. So there's only been a few around, and I think they've slowly, and it's obviously a big investment to recreate that. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I think in the UK there were maybe two or three plants that could actually press vinyl up until
Wow.
recently. So
Wow.
and I can only do it so fast, and
Yep. I mean,
so
it's one to watch. Like you get the little snippets of video of them creating it, and I have to say they are it's very satisfying to watch a vinyl be
Mm.
made.
it
It's like,
is. It
I was like,
is.
I want to do that. That looks really fun. So-
You know what's interesting about vinyl, and I'll tell you, show you something here, is they well, when they do vinyl, um, ideally, especially if you're printing, more than 1,000 or so, they request that you actually they send you 4 copies of the album, and they're just like I'll show you these here. They're just like blank
White labels.
top of
Yep.
white labels, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
to listen to, and you listen to each one because every vinyl is going to have some clicks and pops and stuff in it,
Hmm.
right? But they say if you listen to all 4 and there's a significant click or pop or something going on each one, then there's something wrong with the master vinyl that they found.
Oh.
Oh.
And so they want you to listen to the album 4 times and see if there's anything significant you hear on all of them,
Oh, wow.
just in case there's because it's an
Mhm.
imperfect process, so very organic process. So yeah, they have you do that just in case they need to recut that master before then they make all the copies, the official
That's,
copies.
Is
So
that the new album?
this is the
Is
the
that the
last
new
album,
album
the
White
last
Label?
album that I had. Yeah. So
oh.
Oh.
these are there's a name for these too, and I forget what they're called, and I don't have my glasses on, so I can't
Test
really.
pressings.
Yes. You know, you were right again. I can see it now. It says test press. So
Yes,
yeah,
press.
thank you. So
Well, I was also a record nerd. So.
okay,
She's
clearly,
got
yeah.
Natalie's got a few vinyls. It took her a while to admit that she was a vinyl collector, but
I
we got
am
there
not
at the end.
a vinyl collector.
No, she's a vinyl hoarder.
What you're looking for is well, I inherited uh, my musical background and my musical education came from both my grandfather and my mum and my stepdad. So there was a huge swathe of different musical genres going on in my tiny mind as a child. So when my grandfather passed away, he basically passed his entire record collection to his wife. And when she passed away, it came to me because I was the only one that was interested in 1930s and 40s big band and swing. So
Right.
I have got a massive chunk of vinyl in the other room that was all my grandfather's. So
Oh
there's
wow,
there's
fantastic.
everything in there from Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra to
Mhm.
Geraldo and his orchestra and Harry Roy and Cab Calloway and Judy Garland, and there's a huge amount of records in there that were my grandfather's. But then from my mum, it was very much the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Motown, Gene Pitney,
Yeah,
Diana Ross. That was her lane. And then my dad was AOR.
yeah.
So there was a lot of Chicago, Foreigner, Toto, all of that sort of stuff. And then I
Right,
grew up
right,
and just started listening to heavy metal and everything just went out the window.
right. Well, I mean, that's yes. You're kind of getting a bit of everything in there,
Then
which
yeah,
is really cool. What a fantastic collection. Yeah.
yeah. I grew up with diddly dee music. My mum being an Irish, we that's what I got.
I would have said you can come and have a look, but you've moved away from my neck of the woods now.
You have, yes, indeed. Were you in the Oxfordshire area
I
then?
am in Oxford, yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah. So we were there. We were in Oxford for 3 years proper, and then we were just for about 7, I guess, just outside of Oxford.
Hmm.
We've
Okay.
probably walked past each other in the city centre or
Yeah,
something
I wouldn't be
Not
ridiculous.
even
surprised.
know.
Not even
Oh, that's
exactly.
crazy.
Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, no, we're in
Small
Worcestershire
world.
now. So
Ah, there you go.
it's beautiful out here though. Right on the edge of the Cotswolds. So it's
Oh, nice,
yeah.
nice.
Oxford's nicer.
Oxford is awesome. Yeah, there's no doubt
Like, I would say Sidcup, but we don't know I was lying. So
about
Oxford's
lovely, but
nice.
it's not quite the same. Don't have rolling hillsides outside my front door or anything like that. No.
Neither do I. I've got the A40.
that. Yep, yep. I know the.
Oh dear. Can you remember like what music like caught you the first time? Like you remember what it was, or was it something your parents were playing, or was it something you heard and thought, wow, this is something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think same as you guys. I'm obviously exposed to the music my parents were listening to, um, and I loved so much of that growing up. But I think finding your own thing,
Mm.
like Natalie, you're talking about finding metal. You're like, oh, okay, let's go.
I mean,
So
Kylie Minogue came first, but metal was the
And
was the
Britney,
kicker.
don't forget a bit of Britney in
I
there.
love Britney.
and yeah, right. And because I was a keyboard player, piano player originally.
Okay.
You see my piano in the background there.
Yep.
But but I wanted to desperately be in a band, and because my whole family, everybody sang, everybody played guitar, piano, blah blah blah. So I then got introduced to like really, which was kind of a thing that was coming out in the late '70s, early '80s, which was just all synth music.
Yes, yeah.
Hmm.
So I really, really got into that because I'm like, oh, cool, I can be in a band and play keyboards and be considered cool. So yeah, I got into Depeche Mode and
Yep,
all
yep.
of that. And I like this, not the stuff that got overly poppy. I like the stuff that was a little more dark and melancholy was the thing that I always have connected to. And and then of course I ended up being a singer in a rock band, which is kind of crazy, but I still continued to, record all the keyboards, and I mean, I play guitar as well too, so a lot of that as well. But I still get a chance to kind of get that out, and when I play live with a full band, I still maybe 1 or 2 songs, sit down and play piano and sing.
That's so
Um,
cool.
So cool.
yeah, but it was all the old school synth pop stuff that I really loved as a kid, and that's yeah, and it kind of gave me a place to be because I wasn't into a lot of the bands that my friends were into. Just didn't strike my fancy for whatever reason. So you know, I liked weird stuff as far as they were
Yeah.
concerned. So
Matt and I kind of understand that.
Well, we
yeah,
all
Like a
like
bit
the
of weird
weird. Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So, but
Weird is good.
yeah, all good. And I mean, I love everything. I really do. I just
Hmm.
I definitely kind of tend to lean more towards certain
Yeah.
things for whatever reason. And it's weird too when you write your own music because it's like, oh gosh, I can kind of create my own path, um, and I've done and will probably continue to do. I was actually talking to a friend of mine who's another musician that we like a lot of the same things. We're talking about doing a side project that's a little more kind of dark synth stuff
Ooh,
based.
Ooh.
So
Side quest. We love a side quest.
love a side
yeah,
quest.
yeah,
How
side
is
quest. I love it. Yeah.
what is your you were saying about how when you sit and you write a song you realize that you can like take it to your own lane. What is your creative process like? Because I know everybody has a different way. Like some
Yep.
will approach it from a lyrical point of view and the words come to them first. Other times it's a snatch of a melody. How does it work with you?
Good question. I wish there was more of a like a routine or pattern that I had for do, but I don't. It's a bit all over the place. I mean, because sometimes it is, I might have written something that I love what it says, and so then therefore they kind of turn into lyrics, which becomes a song. And often it's so what I do is I record everything. So I'll be working on another song, and all of a sudden something will just happen, and it's like, wow, that's really cool. So I quickly nowadays I put it on my phone,
Mhm.
and save all of these bits, and I'll go, and then I'll have days where I just feel like, all right, I'm just gonna see what happens today, do something creative, and I'll listen through all those bits, and it could be a lyric, it could be a melody, it could be a cool guitar thing, and I'll just see where that takes me. And sometimes it is, kind of looking through the lyrics that I've written and matching them with something, or vice versa.
Mhm.
But I don't really have one way of doing anything. Sometimes I wish I did, because I do sit here
Be
feeling
nice to
really,
have a right. We're going to start here. We'll do that, and then we'll do that.
yeah, yeah, I know it'd be
Doesn't
nice
work
if,
like that though, because when she sets it up like that, you go, "Oh no, I don't like it. I'm not doing it." So-
exactly. So, and I do write with people occasionally too. So there's, that I'm writing something for a movie right now too. So that's a little different, because the person already has an idea of what they want the song
Mhm,
to be
mhm.
about, and it's reading the script, and they kind of in their head have heard, it's a song I've written before, and they're like, "Can you write something similar to that for this movie?"
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
So
like it.
there's that too, which is a kind of a different way of thinking, which is actually kind of cool sometimes, because then I'm not writing about how I feel, I'm writing about,
Yep.
how the lead character might feel, and that gives you an opportunity to kind of cosplay how you want to be
Mhm.
as an artist, which is really fun. So
That's very cool.
You did all the little snippets for Baywatch. That was one of the first questions I asked you. You know, I started singing with you back in 2019.
that's right, yeah.
So, and I was going, I'm sure I heard you on Baywatch. You were like, that's a good ear, because you had to fill in all the snippets where they hadn't bought the license for the music,
Yeah.
and Baywatch is full of montages.
Yes, I know. There's usually 2 to 4 montages in every episode of Baywatch, and
That's a lot of
when they
music.
wanted to re-release it, because they never bought the rights to any of the songs, and there are 9 seasons of Baywatch, and 4 songs, and whatever, 25 episodes a season times 4 songs. It was a lot. It was 450 songs they had to go and sort out.
Woof.
So I think they bought the rights to quite a few of them, maybe around a
Mhm.
hundred, but then they had to re-record 3 or 400, and so I did eight. Oh, I did 20,
You did 20, yeah. I
20
remember you
songs
saying
for
20
Wow.
Baywatch.
songs,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Didn't
but
you then use one of those on that on the new album? You made it, I'm sure it
there's a
was.
couple that were on Baywatch that I ended up re-recording for the new album. Because those, they were very much like, okay, gosh, all right, there was a song already here, and this montage of people running around in bathing suits has been cut to this
Yes,
already, and so you need to write another song, and it's all got to match up, right?
yeah.
But
Ooh, pressure.
it can't be too close to the song that was there, because you don't want to be sued. So there's this weird balance of trying to write these songs that fit, but not too well, so
Yeah,
that
not too
to get
close.
them in trouble. And
Oh, no
yeah,
pressure.
that was crazy. So, but yeah, and I had to write them quickly and turn them around, and yeah, it was nuts. So I did take a couple of them, and that I really liked, but never got a chance to really finish,
Yep.
because these snippets are
Yeah, they're
anywhere
not.
from a minute to maybe 2.5 minutes long. So it's not
Yep.
a whole song. So I would just
Mhm.
write enough
To
to
fill the gap.
fill that space, and that was it.
How hard is it to know when you're done with a song and not keep? Yeah,
Hard.
there you go. Hard. Yeah, exactly. How do you
It's
stop going? Oh, I'll just do a little bit. No.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard. I don't know. You have to really check yourself. I think too, if you're just a solo artist like I am right now, I don't have somebody else that I'm working with
Mhm.
that just says, "Dude,
Stop it.
That's
we're done."
enough.
Stop.
Stop.
Just leave it alone.
Cut.
Right?
Leave it
You're beating
alone.
a dead horse right now. You've rewritten the song 10 times, and none of them are better than the first one. So, yeah, it's hard sometimes to walk away, and maybe why it's took me so long to finish this record, because I'm sure I've quadruple guessed myself, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
over and over again.
Mm. The pressures of overworking something. I never do
Mhm.
that with artwork. Just add a little bit more. No, it's just done. Just finish it. Leave it there.
It's true. As I watch my wife Min go through the
Yep.
same thing, and
Hmm.
it's hard to know when you're finished, and and you just, because she casts in bronze, so once
Ooh.
it's
Yeah,
done and it's in
beautiful.
bronze, you are committed. That's it.
Yeah, there's
You
no
can't go
changing
back and
that.
make
No.
any other tweaks to it. So
Wow.
it's harder for her to, because I do have a little bit of leeway where I can go and say, hey, I'm just gonna tweak the mix a little bit, or you know,
I think Geraldine said to me that your wife did the artwork for your new album as well. Is that right?
she
The front
did,
cover.
yeah.
Yeah,
She
she did.
painted the front cover. You'll have to show
Stunning.
it here,
I
but
will have a
it's
picture. Yeah, I'll
yeah,
insert it. It'll be
it's
here.
beautiful, and I don't think I have the original painting, but
Yeah.
um, it's I almost lost Min to cancer back in, gosh, maybe 22, I think, 22, 23.
Oh,
And there was a day where I took her to, this is all during COVID. This is the day that I took her to the hospital, and they wouldn't let me into the hospital, of course.
no.
And so, I thought that possibly might be the last time we actually see each other, right? And so this, she painted her eye. There's a
Hmm.
tear coming out of it, and in her eye, you can see the reflection of my silhouette, which represents the the last time we actually looked
That is.
into each other's eyes.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, quite heavy,
Ah,
but luckily she's fine, and
yep.
she's still here, and everything turned out okay. But that was my darkest hour, and so
Oh,
that's
wow.
that's the painting is
Oh,
her eye,
so
and
much
with the tear in
emotion.
it and my reflection in it. So
Mm.
yeah. So, and I have a song on there called "My Darkest Hour," which is specifically about that particular
Point
moment.
in time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, whew.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
But
So
music working as I don't know, wording it better, but as therapy.
yes,
Catharsis.
Yeah,
yes,
outlet.
catharsis.
Yeah,
You know.
somewhere to put those extraneous emotions that
Oh,
why could just eat you up.
yeah. Thank God for that, right? I mean, music has saved my life
Oh
multiple
yeah.
times. I
I
would
think
have
all of us
gone,
can agree with that one.
yeah, I would have gone mad.
Yep.
You know. So, yeah,
Enjoy
hugely
music.
grateful for that.
Which is why I randomly saw a Facebook advert in 2019 and I was feeling a bit more spontaneous and I went, oh my God, JR Richards offering singing lessons. This would be a great experience. It will be a one-off. This would be amazing, Keith. I think I should do it. Just the most
Well,
random thing.
I'm glad you did. You
Oh,
know.
thank you.
You
I'm
know.
glad I did. Like, I cannot, I won't wax lyrical too much because it will get embarrassing. But on my part. But literally, the amount of confidence those singing lessons have given me is unreal. I can't even describe how much they've helped me over time. Like just to process stuff. I try and give that back with when people do fitness with me. It's like
Yeah.
giving people that extra bit of confidence because they're thinking, well, I can do that, so that means I can do this. And I just like I've always said they recharge my soul. Those I was like I'm feeling a bit at the moment. I need to book a singing lesson. It's like I need to go and sing with JR. I need to go and do something creative, and it just recharges. And I love your methods. I do. I'm sure some of those warm ups. I always joke. I'm sure you're just trying to make me look ridiculous, but they feel good.
Yeah, they do. I know. I don't know why they're all a bit ridiculous looking, but they do
True.
work as they
They
kind of
do work.
guide your voice into a good placement. But yeah, and I do them in my car all the time, which I don't know.
Mhm.
And so you always get some
Oh, I
odd
do.
looks from people
Mm,
next to you, and you're like,
it's
they're like,
think they do. What are they doing?
yeah, yeah,
How did that
that's
come about then? How did you kind of go, oh, actually, I think I could probably how transfer that your incredible vocal skill
Yep.
into teaching somebody else? How did you approach that?
good question. I mean, I started doing that working with other artists, and um, whether it was playing producer or being in a recording session with somebody, and they might have been having a hard time getting their head around a certain part. And so I would sit with them and go, okay, and I've learned all these things. I studied bel canto opera technique for 30
Wow.
years. My teacher just passed away a couple of years ago. Bless his socks. But yeah, so it was like, hey, this works for me. Try this, and all of a sudden it works. And next thing I know, that person's like, hey, I'm going in to do another session. Can you come in and help me or work on these songs with me? Or can what was that thing you showed me? It was making a big difference, but I feel like I've forgotten exactly what I was doing. And um, so, yeah, it's a little, an interesting thing about singing, and Geraldine, this very much goes to you too. Often it is just having another person that sings there with you, kind of giving you permission to just do it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, I wish I could take credit for how lovely your voice is, but it's always been there. It's just a matter of kind of, being around and going, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And it is kind of getting that permission to be like, hey, I want to sing. So I'm going to go sing and I'm going to go own it. And that's really what it's all about. Because I think we are our worst enemies, in terms of blocking ourselves from doing a lot of the things that we want to do. It's not anything else, really.
Yeah.
It usually kind of comes from
Mm.
within. So it's just kind of getting past that. But, and then a lot of the other little tidbits they all help. But I feel like when I would go see my teacher, just walking through the door, I felt like I could sing better. I hadn't even done anything.
That's
I'm like,
true.
well, okay. So,
I could do
it
that
was just being in that environment and that seemed to make the difference as much as anything else.
Yeah. Oh, it's so true.
Mm.
And you helped me increase my range. Like I can sing a lot lower now. I was always had the higher vocals. But it's actually really funny back because I recorded a lot of my lessons
Mhm.
and actually seeing my own development because you don't really see it like when because you're in it and I watch what I do now and I go back and look at what I was doing. I think, oh wow, I have actually it's like that moment
Oh
of
yeah,
realization of, oh
absolutely.
wow, I couldn't do that then. But I can do that now. That's so
Mhm.
strange. And it's so stupid because, as I said, I do the same in my, like with fitness, with people coming to me and they're going, oh, I couldn't do that now. And I can do that then. And yeah, the whole thing is, it's therapy for me anyway. I know that much. And as I said, I was saying to Natalie, you've witnessed me burst into tears more times than I probably wish to count. I'd get so frustrated about something and not being able to do it. And then, yeah, it
We're
is
in a very select club here, JR.
yeah.
You and I.
Indeed, I
Bursting
know,
into
I know.
tears on people just because I couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, it's all part of the beautiful process of it all, right?
Yeah,
It's
being vulnerable with it, being
it's
vulnerable
it's
with it.
crazy. I remember recording a vocal in a studio up in the mountains in Northern California, and having really struggling with singing something. And so one of the engineers brought me a glass of red wine and sat it down on the table. I said,
Just
"Drink
chill.
this," right? And didn't seem to help. And so I ended up, while we were recording, I ended up getting so frustrated. I threw the glass of wine at a huge plate glass window
Oh
door,
no.
that looked out into the canyon or wherever it was. And, it was a pretty significant door. And I managed to break, it just went right through that. And the sound was extraordinary because I have headphones on and I've have a $10,000 microphone right there, and I throw this, and I'm horrified, and I go in to, because I can't believe I just did that, right? And I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, oh my God, I just completely let that take me over, and I just went
I'm sorry.
bit berserk, and I go in to apologize for destroying their window, and the engineer, her name's Sylvia Massey, she's like the coolest person on the planet. She does a lot of really, really, she's like the best rock producer ever. And anyway, and I go in there to apologize, and she's got this huge smile on her face. I'm like, what? She's like, I captured that sound on tape. That was awesome. That was like the coolest sounding thing on the planet. So anyway, but yeah, it's amazing how, singing is crazy, and
Yeah.
yeah, it can bring you to tears sometimes, and
Oh
it can
God,
bring you
yeah.
more joy than you can possibly imagine too. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's a roller coaster thing to do, but it's the best day singing is the best day ever compared to the worst day singing is the worst day ever.
Yeah, but yeah,
Mm.
exactly. I come off like I
Yeah.
didn't. I couldn't. He kept doing these warm ups. I just couldn't hit the notes. I don't know what was wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, because we are the voice, right? I think that's the biggest thing is that we are the voice. It's not like I've got a rack of guitars over here. If one of them doesn't sound very good, I'll just grab another one.
Yeah.
You can't do that with your own
No.
voice, and obviously there's so many things. If you're not feeling well, if you have a cold, or if you just got in a fight with your partner, or whatever it might be, there's just things that are going to make your voice do what it's going to do, and sometimes it can be heartbreaking because it just doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Mm.
But I love the focus that you look after your voice because I'm quite sure there's a lot of musicians that don't look after their vocals.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember like where we went to see Ghost and I literally spoke too much that whole day. And I did then have a lesson with you next day going, my throat is weird. I don't know what's going on here. You went, yeah, talking is like one of the worst things. And it was, I was
Yes.
so deep. It didn't hurt, but I was so deep. And you're like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But and you were talking about like, you used to occasionally have people that would work you to that point going, oh, it's a great sound. But you're like, but I'm damaging my vocal cords. Can we not? It's like,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You have to be careful,
yeah.
depending on what you're doing with it. And yeah, I mean, we use our voice all day long, so it's just being conscious of not fatiguing it too fast, and then expecting it to do all of these calisthenics,
It's
as far as singing goes, and it's not going to work that way every day. But yeah, you're right. What's important is to try to be healthy as much as you can, and get rest, and try to be conscious of where your voice is at. I go on tour next month again for 5 weeks, and it's always quite stressful because if I lose my voice, then everything stops. So it's just
Mm.
making
oh.
sure I'm healthy.
How do you like cope with that on the touring? Like obviously you want to interact and chat to people. How do you like balance out like going, right, I've chatted everyone, but now I need to stop because otherwise I'm not actually going to be able to sing.
Yes, I try to be conscious of how much time I'm speaking, where I'm speaking. Um, and I mean, if you're a singer, you're often around loud environments. If you're at a venue, for example, it's generally going to be loud. So it's just trying not to be in that loud part of a room, finding a quiet space somewhere to talk to people, because otherwise you have to talk over that volume in order
Mm.
to be heard, and that's worse than singing
Yeah.
hard, for a night off. Just having that conversation. So yeah, it's just being careful about how much I do that, and then really trying hard not to speak a lot of the day, which is hard because I like to talk. So,
I
yeah,
find that really difficult. I'm quite a chatty person.
We'll get
yeah,
you a sign around your neck that just says, I am on vocal rest.
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's true. I mean, and a lot of singers do that. They just will not speak at all, and they'll be cordoned off from the rest of the world until they have to go do an interview or performance or
Mhm.
sound check or something like that. And then the other thing, of course, is trying to do vocal exercises so that your voice is in the best placement possible, so that it feels light and doesn't feel heavy, and so
Mhm.
it just feels easier to use it. And trying to keep it in that space is can be a challenge sometimes, but those kind of exercises help.
I mean, maybe I shouldn't bring this story up, but easy to use when you've fallen off a stage and injured yourself, possibly.
Oh,
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Oh.
Yeah, no, there's always that too. Funny thing is, and because I was playing in a venue in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and it's big indoor venue, and inside the venues they generally paint everything is painted black, right? So that um, yeah, you don't see anything except what's being lit on stage.
mm.
And but because of that, the stage was black, the floor was black, the walls are black, the curtains are black, everything's black. The carpeting on the stage is all black, and but they had taken red gaff tape and put it on the edge around the stage, so you could see where the edges, so you don't fall off. Because the stage was actually quite high. It was, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 feet above the ground, and then there's a little space in front of you, and then they have a metal iron barrier, and so then they have security that kind of walks there. So if people are crowd surfing over the top, and they kind of get pushed forward, and then they come over the barrier, and they get escorted off the side, and then they
Yeah.
enter from
Yeah.
behind. You know the deal, right? So, and the security guys, there's a step that's maybe about, I can tell you just by looking at the scar on my shin here, it's about a foot and a half above the ground that they can step up on to push people back if they need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anyway, so what happens is during the middle of performance, I'm singing and I step forward on the stage, and they decide to wash the stage in red.
Oh no.
Now you
So
can't see
right,
it.
yeah, so that strip of gaff tape just disappears, and I just stepped right over it and fell into the iron barrier, and I remember hitting my shin, really hard into it, and
Oh.
I mean, it was ugly, and I completely wiped out. And then I get up, and the security guys rush over. Are you okay? I'm like, I think I'm okay, but I'm in excruciating pain. And they usher me back up, and the band just keeps playing. They usher me back up and in and around, and I come back out on stage, and I continue playing the song. And as I'm playing, and I'm just trying not to pay attention to pain, because I looked down in my pants, there was no rip or tear or anything, so I thought it was okay. And I can feel my foot starting to squish around in my shoe.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, I know. And I was wearing black pants and black shoes, but I had white socks on. And I remember looking down, I pulled
Oh, not by the end of the
They're not
night.
white
yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
Oh.
no, they were blood red, and so literally blood red. So I go off to the side of the stage, and the guitar tech. I pull my shin up. That's really loud because we're playing this big heavy rock tune, and I pull my shin up or my trouser up, and he looks down. And he's like, "No problem, I got it." He goes over into his little bag and pulls out a towel for one of the guitars, and he wraps it around my leg, and he takes some gaff tape and wraps
Duct
that
tape.
around my
Yeah.
leg, and pushes me back out onto the stage. So,
Peak
Oh.
but
performing.
I think I got 10 or 11 stitches after the show.
Oh,
So, and I have a nice scar
to prove
remember
it.
to
a
fall
little,
off the stage.
a little reminder. Just
Yeah.
work through the pain.
Yes, I know, right? Oh my God, I can't believe my pants didn't get
That's
torn.
impressive. Good
I know,
trousers.
I
Yeah.
know, good trousers. So,
Yeah, good trousers. Split your skin, but the trousers survived. That's quite
exactly.
impressive. Oh man.
But
Oh,
it's kind of a rite of passage to fall. And I hadn't been drinking or anything. It was just purely a sober misstep. So, you know, but
Oh.
it is a rite of passage, I think, for any stage performer is to have their moment
fall
where
off
they fall
To fall off the stage.
stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
or at least slip on the stage and,
Oh yeah. Get
but
knocked off backwards. We've watched that
yes.
with guys. They throw the big ball and it hit Papa Tobias and he just went over. It's like full
Legs in the air.
legs
And
in
then
the
he
air.
just sat
Legs in the
And he
straight
air.
just
back up again.
straight back up and started
Yeah.
singing again. Because like you said, you just got
You
show's
just
got to
gotta
go on.
push
Gotta keep
through
going.
it.
Gotta keep going.
Yeah, I mean, people throw stuff. I mean, especially when you play festivals and things like that, it gets a bit rowdy and people start chucking things on stage. So you learn to duck fast, but I've been hit quite a few
Dangerous.
times.
Never understand the throwing of anything. I'm like, don't you realize they
I
can
know.
tread on it and fall? Can you not?
I know, it's funny. I remember, I forget the name of the band, but we were as an American festival, radio festival, and there was a British band playing, and great band, and God, I forget, female singer, forget their name. Anyway, and people had
Garbage?
been throwing. It was maybe.
I'm trying to
No,
think of
it wasn't
bands around
garbage.
about that time.
Around that
Cranberries.
time, yeah. So I'm sure you would know who they are. But anyway, and I remember playing and it was hot, so everybody's drinking water out of plastic bottles. People were throwing the plastic bottles onto the stage, and so anyway, and it was a bit annoying. And I know Americans, they can be totally annoying, and the best thing to do is just do your best to ignore how annoying they are in that moment, right? But I remember she was not happy about, like, this is some bullshit going on right now. This is not how it's done. This is not how you properly do this. We're playing music. You're here to listen to us. And so she asked politely for everyone to please stop throwing stuff. And then it was like, I don't know if you remember the end of the 300 when they shot all of those arrows at the last 300 guys and it blots out the sun. It was like that kind of launch of every plastic bottle was thrown at the stage and just covered the stage. So but I thought this was brilliant. So what they did is she just turned her guitar up as loud as it would go and her amp up as loud as it would go and just threw it on the ground. I mean, it was just the most horrendous feedback. And she said, "All right, there you go then, done."
Yeah,
walked
I'm
off
gonna
the
be
stage.
silly. I'm
And everybody's
leaving.
just like huddled around trying to hide. It was brilliant. Anyway,
that's what they get for throwing things on the stage.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. It's
But I just don't understand that mentality. I don't hold something in my hand and think, oh, I'm just gonna lob that at someone. It's just like
I don't know. I mean, that's how
I'm just gonna lob that at the stage.
yeah. It's like,
well, gosh, what was it? Woodstock, when they brought Woodstock back. We played it
in the 90s.
Yeah, we played it in 98, and then 99 they burned it to the ground. Like the audience. So that was it.
wow.
It's like, well done, folks. All right,
well done. You've ruined it for yourself.
Right. You enjoyed it so much, you just burned it up, and there's nothing left. So that's why they canceled it, was just because the people that came ended up destroying it. So
wow.
There's a fabulous documentary about that particular
Yeah, I
Woodstock
think
on
I've watched that.
Netflix.
Yeah,
The
yeah, it
whole thing
was.
is a bit eye-opening, to be honest. I'm
Yeah, it
like,
was
people
Just a
absolute
tad.
chaos.
just a touch, yeah. Coming to enjoy music. I don't get this whole, yeah, you paid for it. You're coming to enjoy it. Why are you trying to ruin it?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I mean, I know that some of the bands that were playing there that night were not very helpful because they were kind of egging on the
Oh,
chaos. But
no.
so they're certainly partially guilty
Yeah, it
for
didn't
what
help.
happened, but they just ruined it for everybody else. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me either. It's doesn't matter how light or heavy the music is. There's no point to go and destroy the place. I mean, that's
No,
No.
exactly.
insane.
We should just go back to the good old days of throwing on knickers at bands. Thank
And
you very
yeah,
much.
yeah,
There you
bras
go.
and knickers.
Yeah, that's much more gentle if it hits you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it doesn't hurt.
As
Let's
long
take
as they're clean.
it.
right, right.
Don't take your pants off halfway through the show
No,
and throw
and
it at the
throw them.
singer.
No,
No.
don't do that one. Don't do that one.
Exactly. Exactly.
What is
Or
the weirdest thing you've ever had thrown at you on
yeah,
stage?
that's true. Yeah.
He's going to say knickers
Weirdest
now. Wait
thing.
for it.
That's a really good question. Well, I mean, so I had what we were in
Oh,
Canada.
there's a story there.
There's a story, yeah. We were in Canada, and a couple of the guys were big pot smokers, right? And in the band,
As you do.
And when you cross the border, because we were on our tour bus from the U.S. into Canada, you obviously don't, if you have any marijuana with you, and it's legal in a lot of places in the U.S. now too, most of it, you can't carry it into Canada. So you have to be. So anyway, so you drop everything off. We're in Canada, and of course, you've got a guitar player that's complaining that I have to go for the next however many weeks and not be able to smoke at all. And this is really disappointing. And he was talking to another singer of another band or a guitar player from another band. Like he said, if you're in Canada, it's not a problem. All you have to do is when you walk out on stage, just some point during the night from the stage, just tell people that you heard that that the marijuana in Canada is crap.
Oh no!
And that's all you need to do. Just do that.
Tell them it's rubbish.
So sure, it's just say that's absolute rubbish. I heard it's total rubbish. So our first show in Toronto, whatever it was, the guitar player walks up and does exactly that. Gets on the microphone and tells the audience that he's heard it. The pot here is rubbish. So for the rest of the night, people are throwing bags of weed on the stage. Right.
See, it's not rubbish. Try it.
Yeah, I know exactly. Well, the Canadians are like, hey, they're so kind. They're like, oh no, okay, yeah, try this, eh? Yeah, right. So, and not only are they doing that, but they would attach it to a pipe, and then
oh no,
and then chuck the whole thing on stage. So I got beamed a few times in the head by a pipe made out of I don't know crystal or glass or whatever. I mean, it was mad. I mean, there was so much on the stage that our roadies or crew guys are having to come out and collect it. And so the next thing I know, these guys have a heat like this, like they're freaking Colombian drug dealer level of marijuana. And it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, you don't need any more. Stop saying that on stage, right?
You've done it now. We've got enough.
Absolutely no point. And I'll never forget because and you got crew guys that all smoke anyway. But I remember playing our last show in Vancouver, I think it was, and we're flying home. We're flying to our next destination, so of course I can't take anything. But so whoever it was, I think one crew guy decides, well, there's all of this pot left. We can't just leave it. We're gonna have to smoke it all.
Oh God!
Smoke it. Oh no!
Anyway, somewhere along the way, I think somebody spilled a bong on the keyboard player's jacket, who doesn't smoke but has dreadlocks. So him trying to go through, and they got the drug dogs walking through. I mean, it was a bit of chaos, but anyway. So yeah, the strangest thing would be bags of weed.
Yeah. And to be honest, if they smoked it all, they're probably still very relaxed right now, all these years later.
Yeah,
still very calm.
Do they know that the tour is over?
Yeah, probably not. Still there.
Probably not. Probably still
telling
there.
Canadians their pot is crap.
Yeah.
So where's your latest tour taking you? I heard you say that you're off on tour soon. Where's this one going?
It's all in the US. So I think I start in the Northeast and work my way to the West Coast. I finish in Arizona. Believe it or not. But I look to be. I think I may be in the Philippines this year. I might be in Brazil.
Wow.
I'll be in France. I'll even be in, yeah. I even have a couple private shows in Scotland.
Ooh,
So
nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
oh, very nice.
Ah,
Yeah.
sweet. That's true.
Well, you did get married in a kilt,
Well,
so
if you're
you
ever
know.
down
Ah,
our way,
yes. No. Well, hopefully I will be. Just depends. Where I'm where anybody wants to listen to me sing. You never know. Yeah. So I'm not really quite sure where where all I'll be at. I'm still kind of working a lot of it out, but
Mhm.
I do have a couple. So I'll be in the U.S. about three months this year so far, maybe more, touring and a
Bless
few
you.
weeks here or there. Last year I was in the Philippines again. I was in Asia and I was in South America last year too, in Chile and Peru and the
I bet
U.S.
that's
and
an
Canada, and
experience.
yeah, it was awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm trying not to tour so much because I'm getting older and I'd rather be home more hanging out with my wife. But yeah, I love singing. It's just all the time in
Yeah.
between is a bit,
Mm.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
takes its toll. Yeah.
We did enjoy during lockdown the live from your front rooms. They were very, very good. So enjoyed those. It was so fun.
Right. Live from my living room.
Live
Exactly.
from your living room. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I have to start doing more of those
Yeah,
so
they're good.
I don't
They're
have to
so
travel
good.
as much. But
Yeah.
those are cool. Those are stressful. Those are
Yeah, I can
weird in their own
imagine.
right. Yeah, in their own
Especially if
right.
like technology doesn't play ball, which we know it can, and the minute you do something like that, it'd be fine all day, and then you'll go to do something like live, and then that's when it all goes, no, I'm not working now.
No, it's true. I mean, it's just like what happened earlier. Everything just all of a sudden just
Hmm.
Switches
stops
off.
working, and you're like,
You're like,
ah.
why? What did I do?
Yeah, exactly. Oh
I'm
no.
going to do this update right now. Why?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, exactly. It's yeah, technology. So
Oh, you
It's
gotta love
great
it.
when it works.
Oh, it's great when yeah, and when it doesn't, it's just like so painful. Now we've got a very, very important question that we've
yes.
been asking on these episodes. Natalie actually started on the first one. What is your go-to karaoke song? Yeah.
Well, and I don't sing my own songs karaoke. I have done that, but I don't do
You
that.
did, yeah, I did. You have to tell that story. You did
Yeah,
tell me that story. It was
yeah,
very fun.
it is a good story. But I'll go and sing with or without you by U2.
Oh,
Oh,
tune.
good choice.
Yeah, it's a good song. And um, yeah, I was at well, I'll give you the short version, but I was doing some karaoke, and we were on tour with Matchbox 20, and so some of
Oh,
us
I love Matchbox 20.
after the show we went over to get something to eat at a little restaurant somewhere in Wisconsin, I think, and it was a little sushi restaurant, and it was late. It was like a Thursday, and nobody was in there across from the hotel we were at in the middle of nowhere. And we walk over to have that, and some of the guys, and I normally don't drink when I'm on tour, but I got talked into drinking sake with everyone. So anyway, yeah, and but all of a sudden it's midnight, and we look at this place that had nobody in it when we walked in is now packed, and because it turns out in this little sushi restaurant on a Thursday in the middle of nowhere, at midnight it's karaoke night,
Oh,
and
amazing.
That's
so I'm
a
sitting there with Rob Thomas, and he and I are chatting about uh, Rob and I are chatting about singing karaoke, and I'm telling him I'm terrified of karaoke. I try to avoid it as much as possible. And he had already put his name in the hat, so he goes up on stage. So as we're having this conversation, you hear this, R. Thomas to the stage, please. And so he goes up and but very smartly goes up and sings one of his own songs, right? And
I was going to say, did he sing a Matchbox 20
yeah,
song?
he did. He went up, and he just sang it, to a few hours earlier to about 6,000 people. So
he's all right.
and-
He's warmed up.
yeah, and then he's there in this little bar singing, and he smashes. This guy's such an incredible voice, and he goes in, does a brilliant job. And well, somebody stuck my name in the hat as well. So after he comes and sits down, you hear this Jay Richards to the stage, and I'm like, oh shit. So I walk up there, and I'm panicking because I don't have a karaoke song, just as per your question. And he anyway, so I thought I'll do the same thing. I'll sing one of my own songs. So I went up and sang "County Blue Cars," which was a hit at the time. So and I wrote it, so I don't need to look at the lyrics on the
Lyrics, yep.
screen or anything, right? Just up there singing. And I thought I did a pretty good job. And I came back and I sat down, and there were these guys sitting at a table next to us that were having a good time, kind of getting kind of rowdy. And one of the guys leans over and he taps me on the shoulder and he's like, "Hey, man, that was pretty good." I'm like, "Thank you." But this is the best part. He goes, "It's not quite how the guy does it, but that's the best I've heard." So,
I'm
so
glad you gave it a good
It's
attempt.
like Dolly
yeah,
Parton.
yes,
It's
right.
like Dolly Parton coming third in a Dolly Parton lookalike contest.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. I mean, how funny is that? So, but we realized, I think, that because of that, nobody knew who we were, or even though that we had
Yeah.
written and recorded these songs. So then all that pressure that I put on myself about doing karaoke, I just went up and started singing everything, including "With or Without You" by U2. I thought
Woohoo!
I'd give it a go because I figured if I crashed and burned, nobody would
No
care.
one's gonna know.
Yeah,
He did a really good attempt at counting blue cards. He was all right.
yeah, exactly. So,
It was all
you know,
right.
yeah. So there you have it, my karaoke story.
No, I love that one. It's so good. It's so good.
That's it.
Karaoke is terrifying though. Like we just did it recently, and yeah, they put the music up, and obviously when I'm sat in my gym, I play about where I can sing. I'm like, oh no, there's too low, that's too high, there's okay. Obviously, it just plays, and obviously if it's not your song that you've written, I'm like, oh my god, I feel like going to. I can sing, honest.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
Have
Is
lessons and everything.
Exactly.
you have no control over the situation. God knows what you're going to get, how it's going to sound, if it's in the right key. I mean, what the arrangement's going to be like, can you hear yourself, all of that. And if you are a singer that sings, that is a terrifying place to step into, I think, and potentially sound awful. And then everybody's wondering why
You
you
say
sing
you're a
at all.
singer.
So,
Are you sure?
yeah.
That's quite good. That's like,
I've had to learn real quick at karaoke what songs are in my wheelhouse and what songs are not.
Right.
yeah,
Because it's
yeah, me too.
completely different when you've got a microphone in front of your face as opposed to when you're singing it in your bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
It
oh
is
no,
very true.
that's not in my wheelhouse. Let's not
No,
try
I
that.
can't sing that.
No,
That's
no,
not-
no, 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 no.
Or the best one is going, oh, they're the lyrics? Oh no, that's not what I've been thinking.
That's not what I've been singing.
I know, right? That's how it goes. I know. Yeah, it's a bit challenging. So, I mean, even in the version of Counting Blue Cars that I sang, I remember looking at the lyrics, thinking, I didn't write that.
That's not right.
That's not
That's not my
but,
put.
yeah. So they're not always
Oh
the best
God.
versions.
The joys of karaoke.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for giving us your time today. I mean, I could keep talking, like seriously, it's not a problem. I'm sure Natalie could as well, but obviously I'm aware that you obviously have other things you'd like to do. How can people find you? Like, share your details so more people can.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can find me at jrrichardsmusic.com. And of course I'm on everything, Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, all of the above. The band I was in is Dishwalla too. You can find that as well. So, and you can just Google me if you want, which is actually quite funny.
Yes.
I have much longer hair, so just in case you're wondering who that guy is, that's just me when I'm 20 and not 59. So. Yeah, but well, ladies,
aging like a fine wine, sir.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you.
Oh,
well, ladies, thank you both so
And you'll
much
have
for
to let
having
us
me.
know when the.
Oh, what was that?
What
I
was
lost
You're
you
welcome.
What was
I
that?
was going to say you'll have to let us know when the vinyl drops so that I can get my grubby mitts on one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, hopefully in the next few months here, I'll have it in hand here in the UK. So.
Yes, no, and I will share links quite happily because I know a few of the people that follow me on my Ghost page actually are Dishwalla fans as well. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, they're all there.
That is so cool.
There's a few of us.
There's quite a few of us. They're like, oh my god, you know him? I was like, yeah. So it's really weird. It's such a cool story. And then
yeah, it's a small world, right?
It really, really is. It really is. But yes, it's given me a lot of confidence. I'm very grateful. Very, very grateful.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you so much for coming to talk to us today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
and we'll definitely, if you want to come back on at any time, we're always open, guys. We love this. We love sharing the music and the things behind it and the creativity behind it. It's like
absolutely. I'd love to. Just let me know. We can pick up where we left off.
fantastic.
Amazing. Thank you.
And we'll see everyone again soon.
Oh, you're my favorite
If you would like to come and confess your craft and creations with us, email us at fortheloveofghost@yahoo.com.
And bright again, there's a song in my heart, I feel like I belong. It's a better place since you came along.